friends, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be introducing my new TBR game that we are going to start using in November. This is called TBR Trail. It has my channel name, start, and finish. So, wow, things are changing a little bit on the channel. I have technically four TBR jars that we're going to pick one book from each, and then we're going to take 4 turns, and that will mean that I have about 8 books on my TBR, and I feel like that's pretty accomplishable for me. So, this game, TBR Trail, is also going to help me keep my book hauls in check because there might be a couple spaces where it says treat yourself, so I can buy one book. But the deal is that if I land on a treat yourself space, I don't know what happens. Punishment pick, and punishments are going to be slightly different as well. So right now, if I don't finish my TBR, for each book that I don't finish, I have to put an extra book on my TBR, and that's not really working. So I was very inspired by Amy from A Star Reads, and she has the Game of Life as her TBR pick, or TBR game. And when she gets a punishment pick, she has to go backward that many turns. So say that she still had 3 books on her TBR that she hadn't even attempted, then she would take 3 turns at the beginning of the game that she would go backwards. And then I think she takes 5 turns, but I'm only going to be taking 4. So my 4th turn, I would be able to go forward again. Does that make sense? So say that we're like in the middle, we're like right here at random generator, and I have 2 books that I didn't get to. I would roll once and say it's like a 3. I'd go 1, 2, 3. So I'd have to pick a book with a number in the title, and then since I had 2 books, I'd roll again and I'd go backward that many spaces. That way I'm not really like adding extra books. I'm just, I feel like that helps balance it a little bit. I'm going to set up this game and I'm going to give you a personal tour. So let me get you all set up. And I don't think there are any other rules. I cannot buy books until I hit the book haul unless I land on Treat Yourself, which we already talked about. I have to read that book in that month. So we're going to take 4 TBR picks and then 4 turns. I can double up. Say that I got Good Girls Die First on out of my physical TBR pick. Then if my husband picked Good Girls Die First, it's okay if I got hubby pick, I hope that makes sense. Anyways, I'm going to set you up and we're going to go through this entire board. I'm really excited for it. Okay, so this is an overview of our game. So it says TBR Trail, and it says Alita in the books because that's my name. So every time we have to restart this game, we start at the pink start right here. And I tried to personalize this board with pictures of me. So there's me reading The Honeymooners. Then there's me reading Here and Gone. And then I have thriller, mystery, contemporary, romance, because those are some of my favorites. And then we have a lot of different prompts. So we're going to only be playing with one die. And for right now, our little person is this magnetic bookmark because, like always, I lost my troll. And this works. So most of these are bookish prompts to help me pick a book. Some of these are more self-care prompts to help me take care of myself. And a few of them. And then there are a few bookish video ideas for me to do. So let's just get right down to it. So we will roll this 4 times unless we get extra, which I will talk about right here. And if we have punishments, instead of adding additional books, because that doesn't work for me, we will just go backwards and pick prompts based on going backwards on the board. That is brought to you, inspired by Amy from A Star Reads. I'll link her TBR video down below so you can go check her channel out as well. Let's try this. Okay, I think that works. So let's see. Okay, so start. So then we have small town. So it could be a small town romance, small town mystery. Just takes place in a small town. Pet pick. We have 3 pet picks. So there's 1, 2, and 3. If I get pet picks, since I have 2 dogs, I will be adding 2 books onto my TBR instead of just 1. They each get to pick 1 book, or 2 in all. Then physical TBR, that is one of my I actually have a physical TBR jar or book sleeve with all the slips of what I own and haven't read yet. And yeah, that'll help me get my physical TBR down. Self-care. So if I land on self-care, it could be anything from doing my nails, which need to be done, so don't judge. Having a night where I cook something because I really like cooking, or just taking care of myself somehow. Maybe face masks because I like doing that. Maybe a night where I'm just off from reading but I can write, or I can do something else that I enjoy doing. I could have like guilt-free booktube watching time or something where I'm not trying to research for another video. I'm just trying to, watch some booktube because I like it. Then there's start a series. There's free picks, so I think those are self-explanatory. I have Scribd right now. I don't know if I'm going to continue my subscription next year or not, but for right now I have Scribd. I'm thinking I'm going to keep Scribd, and I am going to be canceling Book of the Month very, very soon at I think the end of this year. But Scribd is just like anything that's on my account that I've saved. Obviously, I'm interested in it, so might as well use my Scribd. Do a weekend reading vlog. So, do a reading vlog for one of my weekends. Hubby pick. There are 3 hubby picks on here, so hubby pick, hubby pick, hubby pick. That just means that my husband gets to pick my book. A book that matches my outfit. An isolated book. So this could be like an isolated thriller, or it could be like a romance. It's not called isolated romance, but like they're trapped in a house together or something, like The Flat Share. They live together, but I would say it's isolated because it's all at the same place. Or like The Unhoneymooners, I would say that that's isolated because they have the whole island, but they're fake dating, they're isolated together, they're forced together. I guess it's called forced togetherness in romance, but that's kind of what I mean. Then there's fake dating, which was one of my favorite tropes. BookTube, so that is literally just like giving me some time to watch BookTube and not feel guilty about it. Because I always am like, oh, I could be doing something better or something different, like reading, or I could be filming or whatever. But I do like being a part of the BookTube community, so just some guilt-free BookTube time. Pick a book that is a TBR vet, so just one that I've had longer than a year. Then this is punishment, so that means that I would go back to the start and I would add one roll, so one more turn, and I would pick a book from my physical TBR sleeve to read for that prompt. Then I have a movie night, so I can just have any kind of movie night at some point. Do a tag video, then pet pick, then a book that's on my TBR cart, which is going to change every 3-ish months, I think, 3 or 4 months. Then vlog all month, so I tried to pick things that would challenge me. I'm not the best at vlogging, and like I want to really get better at vlogs. But this would be like all month. And I don't know if that means that I would do just like one big monthly vlog, which I feel like would be a very long vlog, or if it just means that I do a weekly vlog all month. Kind of give me your ideas in the comments below and let me know what you were thinking. I don't know, maybe it'll change every time I land on there. Treat yourself, so I get to pick a book, but like I said, I have to read it in the month that I land on it. Hubby pick, nonfiction, so just any of my nonfiction books. 5-star predictions, romance, an out of comfort zone book, which I don't have a lot of those anymore, but there might be some videos in 2023 where I kind of test if I really like something in a book that I say that I like, but I'm not really sure anymore. Then there's number and title. There's an audiobook, a stalker book, so a book that deals with stalking. I have a lot of those. That tends to be a theme that I read from quite often, which is weird. A random generator, so each time I land on this one, it might change. It could be a random number generator, it could be a random color, it could be a random letter and have to do with the author or the title, so it could change every time. Face mask, nails, so you know, more self-care. Then there's YouTube recommends. So this is just a book that I've heard a lot about on YouTube. Set somewhere I've never been. It says set new place, but it's just set somewhere I've never been. A male author, because I tend to read a lot of female authors, and I do want to kind of even that out a little. I don't think it's really necessarily a goal of mine, but it is something that I'm aware of. Then a sad book, a book that's going to make me cry. Then go back to the start, and we already talked about that. First sentence challenge, so I'd grab 3 to 5 books, read the first sentence, and pick which book I want to continue based solely on the first sentence. One of my must-read books, I think I only have 6 books left on my 24 books I need to read in 2022. So this will just help me finish those and get to the 23 books that I must read in 2023, because there will be a video for that. Library. So this could be using my Libby app to borrow either an audiobook or ebook, or or going to the actual library and picking a book. Then pet pick, so 2 books for that one. Set on an island. That is something that I've noticed. That's a theme that I really enjoy. A Kindle book. So then continue or start a series. This one just says series. So my start a series is over here. I think this one's primarily going to be continue a series, but if I want to use the space to start a new series, nothing is stopping me. Then a foodie book. So I've recently realized that I really love specifically romances, but I haven't really tried it with other books. But like food-ish romances. Like there's this one, I don't own it, but I listened to it on audiobook. Donut Fall in Love. It's like this baker and this celebrity who is going on to this baking show. He starts getting trained how to bake with her, and then they fall in love. Or like Love and Other Disasters is this cooking competition show that's also a romance. And those are the only 2 that I can think of right away. But I've recently realized that I love a good food-y type romance. Maybe if I find other books that aren't romances but take place around food, I might read it. I'm very interested in exploring this a little bit more. Then there's, fails. So for fails, I could just watch some like fails on YouTube, like Fail Army or something, and do that guilt-free. It's just like a little self-care thing that makes me feel better about myself sometimes. This could be fails or it could be Karen videos. I just really enjoy those sometimes. Try a chapter tag, so a video idea, but also I'm thinking that I'll pick 3 to 5 books and I will try the first chapter of all of them and pick which book goes on my TBR based on that. I think the try a chapter tag will not be part of this video though, like my TBR video. I might tell you what books I'm thinking of reading the first chapter of, but I might not. I haven't decided yet. But I'm thinking the try chapter tag will be an additional book on my TBR, but I don't have to pick it in my TBR video, if that makes sense. Then Unhaul Project, I have like 35 books that are part of an Unhaul Project. They're books that I don't think I'm gonna like enough to read or to keep after I read them, but I am interested in reading them at least once. And this will help me get that Unhaul Project down. Then School Setting, so just a book that takes place in a school. A happy book, which I don't read a lot of, so that one might actually be hard for me. It might end up being a romance, to be honest. Then Hubby Pick again, Set Somewhere I've Been, which is self-explanatory. Then there's the Start Over, so that would be a punishment pick. I would add a rule and, get a book. Then there's A Dance Party, so again, just some self-care for myself. And reading sprints. So I don't know if that's going to be on my channel because that is a goal of mine to do more reading sprints or host them. Or if that's going to be just where I participate in reading sprints, or maybe it'll change each time I land on that space as well. And then if I get past that, when I get past that to my book haul, that means the following month I get to buy books and start over. I hope you enjoyed this video learning about my new game. I don't think I missed anything when I was explaining the rules and everything. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you're new around here. I will see you guys tomorrow. I think this is still part of Ada, right?